Ryan Tannehill has probably seen his last snap in a Tennessee Titan uniform, at least as the starter, because Will Levis has went out and put on a clinic. Now, it was against the Falcons, I will admit that, but at the same time, the Tennessee Titans are in a rebuilding stage. If you look at some of the trades that they have done in the past, some questionable things have been done over there, and I honestly believe that it's time for a complete reboot. And honestly, Ryan Tannehill is only going to take this team so far. It's about time for the Tennessee Titans to see exactly what they have in their rookie quarterback, who is Will Levis. There's a couple of things that you can take away from the game that they just played against the Falcons. One, DeAndre Hopkins is still that guy. This is obviously his best game as a Tennessee Titans, 4 receptions for 128 yards and 3 touchdowns. And this is only the second game in which he was able to record over 100 yards receiving. He did that against the Indianapolis Colts, where he had 140 yards. But this is the first game in which he has had a receiving touchdown. On top of that, he had more than just one. He had 3 of them in this one game. And now we turn our attentions to Will Levis. He was 19 for 29, 238 yards with 4 touchdowns. Let's take a look at some of the throws. The first throw at around the 228 mark, Will Levis threw a 47-yard pass to DeAndre Hopkins. Now, if you look at this throw, look at this route, it looks like some good old offensive pass interference to me. But that's just me. You may think differently. At the same time, nonetheless, it was a touchdown. Good throw, bad refs. Let's continue. Will Levis continues to pile up the touchdowns with a nice pass to DeAndre Hopkins, and then DeAndre Hopkins pushed this guy in the spin cycle and goes on to score a touchdown. It's a pretty good routine throw from Will Levis, and sometimes that's all it takes. You put the ball in your playmaker's hands and they make plays. Now, the best looking throw of the day had to be the 61-yard touchdown pass that he threw. Stood back in the pocket. The pocket was so clean, I think he did his taxes while he was getting ready to throw the ball. He threw it up and it was a clean catch. Caught him in stride for the touchdown. Now, granted, he was super wide open. I don't know what Atlanta defense was doing. Once the man scored 2 touchdowns, you would think you would do a better job at covering this man. But I digress. It is what it is. You still have to make the wide open throws, because we have seen before where quarterbacks have missed throws like this. So I give it to Will Levis. He made the throw. It's a 61-yard touchdown completion. And at this point in the game, I thought it was completely over. It was 9-21. D-Hop scored his 3rd touchdown. I really and honestly thought that the Falcons were just gonna call it a day. They decided to actually play football today, and so Bijan Robinson scored a 13-yard run and made the score 16-21, but then Will hit him with a 33-yard pass. And I honestly think that was the ball game. The Falcons ended up scoring late, but at that point the game was already over. Your score 23-28. And now the Tennessee Titans have a situation on their hands. And I honestly think that it's an easy choice. Let the rookie stay the starter for the foreseeable future. See what you have. See if he's going to be the guy or is he not going to be the guy. Because I think a lot of Tennessee Titan fans out there honestly know and believe that Ryan Tannehill is simply not the guy for the job. And I'm not saying Will Levis is going to be the next coming of Tom Brady or Peyton Manning or Joe Montana, but what I am saying is, as an organization, you have to figure out what you have in certain players, and you're not going to find that out if Will Levis is just simply sitting on the bench for the rest of the year. And being somebody who really loves college football, it's going to be interesting to see how much Will Levis has developed since we see him last play at Kentucky. And if we backtrack, we all know the look on Will Levis' face the moment he got drafted. I really do, and I did feel bad for the kid as soon as they called his name, because they propped him up to be somebody who was going to get drafted on day 1. And imagine sitting there, everybody telling you that you're going to be drafted here, you're going to be drafted there, and it was already bad enough that your name was not called in that top 3 quarterback slot that everybody had you projected to be, i.e. Mel Kiper. And then it came to be that he actually was not going to get drafted in the first round at all, and he had to wait until the next day. This could be the origin story of something great. But what do you do with Ryan Tannehill? Do you just allow him to sit on the bench and be sort of a teacher and mentor for Will Levis? Yes, that's one route that you could take. Or you could take another route, pick up the phone and call the Minnesota Vikings and see if they want to do a trade, because if you do not already know, which I'm pretty sure that you do, Kirk Cousins has torn his Achilles and will miss the rest of the season. This is a route that the Tennessee Titans can take, get some assets back for Ryan Tannehill. And I'm not saying that Minnesota Minnesota just wants Ryan Tannehill. Maybe they're in a rebuilding stage themselves and they want to just rest their star wide receiver, that is Justin Jefferson, just watch the rest of the season. Maybe that's the thought process that they have right now. But if they want to try and contend for anything, best bet that they can do is maybe bring Ryan Tannehill in and see exactly what he can do. Ryan Tannehill can get hot, and when he gets hot, he can play, but at the same time, he can get very cold, and when he's cold, it's Alaska. But it's just something that they can think about doing and maybe proceed that way in order to get maybe a draft pick here or there. Allow Will Levis to take over for the rest of the season, see if you like what you see or if you need to revisit the draft again. But if they decide to go that route, it will be the third year in a row that they draft a quarterback within the first 3 rounds. Malik Willis being a 3rd round pick in 2022, and of course we have Will Levis being a 2nd round pick. And I'm pretty sure that they have given up on the Malik Willis experience already, because 1, you don't draft Will Levis if you think Malik Willis can play, and 2, Malik Willis just hasn't looked that good when we've seen him. So probably about time that they actually try and develop somebody for the future. I think their window for a Super Bowl really closed, and the best chance that they had of winning the championship was the year that they played Kansas City in the 2020 AFC Conference Championship. The year after they lost in the conference championship to the Kansas City Chiefs, they went 11-5, first in the AFC South, and followed that up with another 12-5 season, first in the AFC South. But in this 2-year span, they played 2 playoffs games, and Ryan Tannehill really did not have his best game. In the 2021 matchup with the Baltimore Ravens, the Tennessee Titans lost 20-13. Ryan Tannehill went 18 for 26, 165 yards, 1 touchdown, and 1 interception. Not good enough to actually get the job done. But I won't put that loss entirely on him. It was a close game. Lamar Jackson did not really play any better than he did throwing the ball wise, but if you look at the rushing stats, Lamar Jackson was all over the place. 16 carries, 136 yards, 1 touchdown. The Tennessee Titans defense did nothing to stop Lamar Jackson's legs during that game. So that's what ultimately led to them losing that game. But if you look at the next year, the Tennessee Titans played the Cincinnati Bengals January 22nd, 2022. They lost 19-16. Now this was a very close game, only a 3-point difference. And guess how many interceptions Ryan Tannehill had that day? 3. And so I honestly believe that if Ryan Tannehill would have done a better job at taking care of the football, then they probably go ahead and win that ball game. And I had to go back and watch this game and see were these interceptions actually on him. He threw an interception to start off the game, and then he threw an interception after a huge Derrick Henry run, and then he ended the game off with another interception that may or may not have been on him. This was the only tip drill interception that I saw, but at the same time, it was defenders everywhere, and he probably shouldn't have threw that ball anyways. And this year, maybe they can do a little bit and make some noise, but it's not really looking like this team has that expectation of really contending for anything right now. So with that being said, why not allow the rookie quarterback to get some reps, see exactly where his headspace is, see where his mechanics are, see what you need to improve, can you improve them, and see exactly where you need to take your thoughts when the draft rolls back around. Do you need to look for another QB, or do you need to look for weapons to surround your rookie quarterback with in order to make sure that he has the most success going forward? So let me know what you guys think. Do you think Will Levis should be the starter going forward for the Tennessee Titans, or do you think that Ryan Tannehill should remain the guy for the foreseeable future? There's a lot of different things that the Tennessee Titans can do in this situation, but I honestly believe that it's honestly time to move on from Ryan Tannehill, get some assets back, bolster up that defense, surround the rookie quarterback with some weapons, and that's your rebuild. I know it's easier said than done, but that's the route that I would honestly take for the Tennessee Titans. But that's my 2 cents and my take on it. Let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section, and I will see you in the next video.